Yo, what's up, guys? It's Correa70 here. So, the Tigers have made a few moves this offseason. They have traded for catcher Tucker Barnhart from the Reds, I believe. He's a two-time Gold Glove winner. That means he can play defense, and he has a good bat, better than Grayson Griner, who we just released. I'm excited to see what Tucker Barnhart can do. He's older. He's a veteran. And I'm excited to see what he could do with Casey Mize, Matt Manning, and Tarek Skubal. The younger pitchers. I'm just really excited to see what he can do with them. With that being said, it looks like they're going to roll with Eric Haas as well as the backup catcher. But I still hope we can see Eric Haas in the lineup somewhere, whether it's in the outfield or as a DH. But I would love to see Eric Haas's bat still there. But I'm excited to see what Tucker Barnhart can bring to the Tigers. We also signed Eduardo, wow, I cannot say his name. What the fuck, Corbin? Eduardo Rodriguez. I don't know why I can't say that, but we signed him to a 5-year deal. He's a good pitcher, and I believe he was an all-star at one point. Let's see. I think he was an all-star at some point. We needed starting pitching with Boyd now gone, but at the time we didn't know if Boyd was going to come back this season or not with Tommy John. But looks like he's gone from the Tigers, and then also same with Spencer Turnbull, who's not going to be here at all next year because of Tommy John surgery. So we need to start pitching, because you have to three, Matt Manning, Skubal, and Mize. So we need to start pitching, and we signed a starting pitcher, Eduardo Rodriguez, and I think he was a good pickup. Let's see if he made an all-star. I think he did. I want to say he did. He's only 28, so he can still pitch. His career stats, he has an ERA of 4.60. It's not great, but it's not bad. He had 4.74. He kind of struggled a little bit last year, but that doesn't mean anything. I trust in Chris Fetter to get him right, and next year's a new year. You never know. Maybe he didn't make it. Maybe he didn't make an all-star. Yeah, his stats look like throughout his career. It looks like neither of them are all-star worthy. Never mind, but he's still a solid pitcher, someone who can get you 5-6 innings a start, and that's something we need. We need someone who can relieve the bullpen. Now, his win-loss record is 64-39. That's pretty good, throughout his career. So he's a winning pitcher. He went 19-6 in 2019, had a 3.81 ERA with the Red Sox. Then last year he went 13-8 with a 4.74. That's not a bad record. But also helps that he have a good offense. But I think the Tigers have a good offense this year. It's a 5-year, $77 million deal. Cheap. Because if you divide up 77 by 5, that's where you can get his base salary. I can't really do that on top of my head. I'm not that good at math. Of course. His base salary per year is about $15.4 million a year. That's not bad. Not bad. Now, the big signing of the year so far for the Tigers is signing Javier Baez to a 6-year, $140 million deal. It came late last night, around 2 a.m. I'm doing this video on November 30th. A lot of Tigers fans are very pissed off that we signed Javier Baez instead of Carlos Correa. I'm not one of them. I'm happy for Javier. I'm happy to see what he can do with the Tigers. I'm excited. I'm ecstatic that we signed him. I've wanted Javier Baez actually since he's came into the league with the Cubs, I liked his gameplay. He has elite defense, and he has pop in his bat. I mean, he had 31 homers last year. We haven't had a 31 homer player since Nicholas Castellanos, and that's been a long time. And to be honest, Javier Baez is not that different from Correa. Like, what I mean by that is, yeah, our first choice is Carlos Correa, and I would love to have Carlos Correa. But Javier Baez is not a bad second choice. He is not that bad. Yeah, he struck out a lot last year. But he had 31 homers. And strikeouts, they can go down. I mean, look at Nico Goodrum, for example. Last year, he was striking out like crazy. And he did not have a good year. I'm not saying he did. But towards the end of the year, he started playing a little bit better. His strikeouts kind of were going down. And he was starting to hit a little bit better towards the end of the season last year. And I just feel like this coaching staff can help Javier with the strikeouts. But Javier doesn't really need that much help. I mean, let's look at some stats. Let's look first at Baez's stats. Javier Baez. My guess he's going to play shortstop. He can also play second baseman. Last year he batted .265. I mean, that's not a bad average. He had 31 homers, 87 RBI. He had 18 stolen bases. He had 133 hits. His WAR was 4.5. I mean, his on-base percentage was 31%, 32% actually, if you round up. That's about average. I mean, a little above average, actually. His slugging percentage, could be a little higher. It doesn't say the strikeouts. But that doesn't... Oh, yeah, okay. So, in 2022... Oh, that's projections. Never mind. He had 184 strikeouts last year. 131 with the Cubs and 53 with the Mets. However, look at 2020, the year before. I know it was a 60-game season, but he only had 75 strikeouts. Yes, he strikes out a lot, and that's just what he does, it looks like. But that doesn't mean he can't be good. I mean, 2014 was his first year in the league. That looks like 95 strikeouts, had 36 hits. 2015, 1 homer. But then he started getting into his gear. 2016, 14 homers. 2017, 75. Oh, that's RBI. 23 homers. 2018, 34. With 111 RBI. 2019. Am I looking at the wrong stat? No, 29 in 2019. What I'm trying to say is Javier is not that bad of a player. He is not. And he's going to bring swagger to the Tigers. And I'm just excited for him. I'm excited for him to be on the Tigers. We got him for 6 years. And some say that, like I said, a lot of Tigers fans are like, oh, good, finally, we're going to have someone who can strike out a lot. Or, yay, someone's going to, thumbs down. Or, come on, Alavila, how come we didn't go after Carlos Correa? You should get fired and all that. For one thing, there's a salary cap. So, if Carlos Correa was asking for a big contract, I don't care that we have one of the richest owners in the league. There's a salary cap. That means teams can only spend a certain amount each year, no matter how much your owner has in his bank account. And if Carlos Correa was asking for too much, then we would pretty much spend all of our money on one player and not being able to sign players throughout the next couple of years. Which is, now we're starting to try to compete now for a World Series. So we need more than just one player. Carlos Correa cannot win the World Series by himself. So, Javier Baez was cheaper because his deal was $140 million. That means it's around $23 million a year. I did the math. Correa was probably asking for $30 million a year, which is a lot more. and maybe Carlos Correa didn't want to come here. Javier did. I'd rather have players that want to come here than players that don't. Yes, our first choice was Carlos Correa. I wish we could have had him, but if he was asking for too much, I'm sorry. You know, it's not about being cheap. It's about being smart with the money. It's about being smart. Don't a lot of teams spend a bunch of money on these players, on one player, and they don't have enough to get other players, and then here comes big holes to fill. Some teams get lucky and they get one from the farm system, but that doesn't always work out. So, I'm kind of happy with what Alavila has been doing this offseason. It's actually shown he's actually able to do stuff, and like I said, Javier Baez was an all-star. He's an all-star, and let's look at Carlos Correa's stats. We took a look at Javier's. Let's take a look at Carlos Correa. Let's see how different they are. Let's see, Carlos Correa. He had 26 homers last year, so he does also have pop too. His on-base percentage was 36% last year. Just above Javier. Javier was, about a few percentage lower. His slugging percentage is around the same as Javier Baez from last year. Last year, he struck out 116 times, so he still struck out a lot too. See, they're not as different as they appear to be. Yes, 181 is more than 116, but those are both big numbers. So, I'm not upset with getting Javier, and you shouldn't be either. And you should not boo Javier if you go to the games. If you do, that's just not mature. You should cheer for him just like any other Tiger. And also, I understand you want to build something here, but I think we are. I trust AJ Hinch. He brought us from last year a team that was projected to win 50 wins. Won 77. And if it wasn't for that poor start in April, or the first 30 games, we might have fought for a playoff spot. We were playing playoff baseball for the majority of the season. It was just that poor start that really did us in. And, I'm excited for the future. I'm excited for next year. Next year we should be a playoff team. And to have someone like Javier Baez, have someone who's popping his bat, who can steal bases as well. Carlos Correa didn't steal any bags last year. He stole 0. Same with 2020. He stole 1 in 2019, 3 in 2018, 2 in 2017. And his first 2015-16, he actually stole a bunch of bases, 14 and 13, but then he just stopped stealing bases. To have someone like Javier who can steal bases, 18, that's a lot of that's pretty good. Is also pretty good as well. And Javier Baez also has elite defense, and that's what the main thing is. We needed defense at the shortstop position, something we'd also kind of struggled with last year, with Zach Short, Nico Goodrum, and whoever else was at shortstop. So to have someone like Javier Baez to lock down the defense there, that is pretty good. And which also opens the door for us to sign another starting pitcher, which I want Stroman. And someone we could get for cheap, like a 3-year, 4-year, $60-70 million deal, something like that. I want Stroman. But yeah, you guys shouldn't be upset with Javier Baez. I'm not. We shouldn't either. He's a great player, and with some pop in his bat, some swagger. Some people say he's going to be a cancer to the locker room. I don't think AJ Hinch is going to allow that. I think he'll get Javier straight. But yeah, I'm excited to see Javier Baez in Detroit, and you should be too. Really. I just look at their stats. They're not much different than each other. They both strike out a lot, and they both hit homers. They both get on base. Both have good defense. You don't need a super team to win the World Series. The Atlanta Braves and the Los Angeles Dodgers proved that. What I mean by that is the Dodgers spent a bunch of money training for all these superstars, didn't win the World Series. The Braves lost their superstar and Ronald Acuna Jr. and other players. Like, they lost Ronald Acuna Jr. for the season. I can't believe I can't remember these things. Let's see. Yeah, Ronald Acuna Jr. got injured. Come on. Azuña got injured. Yonya got injured. Orton got injured in the World Series, but I mean, you lose these players that are, and I think they lost Adobe's too, if that's how you say his name. Yeah, Ozzy Adobles. I think he got injured as well. He's not injured anymore, it looks like, but I think he also got injured last year. What I'm trying to say is, they got so many injuries, and people wrote him off. They said, "Oh, the season's done." Especially when Ronald Acuna went down. They ended up winning the World Series. I mean, you don't need a super team, looks like, to win the World Series. You need the right guys, and that's what the Atlanta Braves have. And right now, Detroit, you don't need a super team. So having Javier Baez, Eduardo Rodriguez, Tucker Barnhart, these veterans coming in who have played in playoff baseball. I mean, Eduardo Rodriguez just played in the playoffs with the Red Sox, went to the ALCS. Javier Baez, I think, won the World Series with the Cubs. And Tucker Barnhart, who's played for the Reds, and I think they made the playoffs, one or two times when he was with them. So to have that experience on the team is also key as well. I mean, some say, well, yeah, Carlos Correa also won the World Series as well and been in a few playoffs, so he has experience as well too. But I just think we have the right guys on the team. I'm not saying we're going to go out and win the World Series next year. I'm saying we should be a playoff team next year. And to have the guys that we signed so far, I think it's been a good free agency so far. And before the lockout, hopefully by tomorrow, I want us to sign Stroman, just because I feel like he is a good pitcher and someone who is underrated, and they're not giving him the right. I don't think they're doing him right. And like I said, I just trust this coaching staff too much to think that Chris Federic can't help Rodriguez get his ERA down, have a good year next year, Stroman have a good year next year. So I really want Stroman. But I'm happy for Javier Baez to be a Detroit Tiger, and you should be too. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Have a good day.